Hello, everyone. Welcome. Hi. What's up? Okay. I have a microphone now, and I don't want to jinx it, but I think I figured out my audio issues. Audio. I have been working on it for days. So please, yes, let me know if things sound weird. I think we might still have an issue with Streamlabs. That was the one piece that I haven't tried yet because I was focused on some other things to fix. And also maybe a cool thing for when we actually start the H3 after party. Hello, everyone. Audio is crispy. Thank you, Witch. Oh, how is everybody? I always seem to start a creative project when my day job is nuts. And that is definitely what's happening right now. Also, obviously, shout out to the other Swifties. I loved all of your edits. I have to put this on something. I loved all of your edits for the Ian, the iDubbbz and Ethan breakup. Some of them literally made me emotional. Oh, it's so hot here. I have the fan on. Can you hear the fan? Because it's not showing up on the mic. No fan, right? So I don't have to sweat to death. We love that. No fan detected. Okay, what happened? Cheyenne, I just landed my dream job and I'm so excited. Yay! Shout out Cheyenne. Okay, I don't know what these little crowns are. They're new in chat. Top fans. Look at that. I wonder how that's decided. Oh, here we go. The leaderboard is a place for fans to stand out in the community. The top 3 get special badges in live chat. It resets every stream, so you can always try again. How do you get on the leaderboard? You'll need to collect experience points, or XP. Here's how you get them. Send live chat messages and send super chats and super stickers. Learn more or turn off in the help center. Very cool. So shout out to Lorenz, Jared, Memi9277, no idea how you pronounce that, and Lana Julie 33. You are the top fans of this stream. That's pretty cute. Oh, let me tell you, I am so chatty, obviously. If I was on a stream, I would definitely, not only would I probably be in the top 3, I would be trying to be in the top 3 because I'm also oldest child, overachiever, all of that stuff. Yeah, so keep up the stream of consciousness typing because it got you a little crown. Or it could get you a little crown. Yeah, do I have more sound bites? That one doesn't work. The fart works. Okay, so we have a fart and we have a clap. Look at me figuring shit out. This color? Thank you so much. It's like a pumpkin orange. My Olive Garden just arrived. What did you get, Cheyenne? Cheyenne is having a day. Got their best, or their dream job and Olive Garden. All right, everyone drop your favorite Olive Garden meal in chat while I get ready for us to talk tonight. Oh, I forgot about this. Okay, so last stream, when we were talking about Kat Tenbarge, the writer, okay, we can't be having that all stream, so move out of my way. I mentioned that I'm a writer and that my background is in fiction, and Travelers TTG asked, is there anywhere I can read your writing? Yes, there is. I have had a couple of short stories published, 2 of which I'm really, really proud of. And they're under different last names because I'm kind of trying to figure out what I want my author name to be. One of them is in, do they link to the, hang on one sec. Let me see if I can find it. There it is. Okay, one of them is in, this should work. Nope, it didn't work. Okay. Why aren't you working? Why aren't you clicking to anything? Y'all. So now the sound works and now something else doesn't work. I set all of this up. Oh, wait. Why isn't this working? Oh, because I'm a ding dong. Okay, excuse me. Thank you, This Man Jack. Thank you so much. I don't know why it didn't show up. Yeah, so I'm still working out the Streamlabs stuff. We need screen capture. Oh, duh, that's why. Because I'm a bing bong. There it is. And we'll move that up. So one of my short stories is in this book, Nightmare Diaries. It's kind of like, I guess both of the stories that I've had published are, they're kind of horror-ish. And so one of them is in here. I'm in here as Kate Leone, right there. And I'm thinking that's going to be my author name. I'm so young as a writer that I haven't decided yet. And they have it in an ebook form. Thank you, This Man Jack. They have it in ebook form, and they also have it like as a physical copy that I just recently got. I'm very, very excited to read everybody's work. So that's the latest one, and I'm really excited about that because it's kind of rare to get your stories published in print. It's very rare. I just want to make sure y'all can see me too. Hey guys. So yeah, this is one of them, Nightmare Diaries. 10 out of 10, recommend buying it and supporting a small press. And then the other place you can read, I'll link these in the description. The other place is Arcturus, I think it is. Hang on, let me just find it. I don't want you guys watching me Google around. That's not necessarily necessary. Okay. And this one is free. And it's still, I reread it the other night. And I'm like, this is a fucking good ass story. And this one I'm under Kate Gorton. That is my maiden name. Okay. So this one is called Grenade. And it is loosely based on some truly messed up slumber parties I had as a child, like as a girl. And if you have ever been a teenage girl, you will understand the vibe of this piece. So that's my other short story that I've published. I will link both of them, and yeah, feel free to read them and let me know what you think. I am working on a book. I'm working on a novel, and I have another novel in mind that feels like more fun, so I might switch to it. We'll see. And yeah, that's like the creative writing stuff that I work on. If I could give teenage me a hug, I would. Yeah, same. Yeah, it's a sad story. Tatiana, yes, please get obliterated. Vape Nash, am I right? Okay, that's the first thing. The next thing, oh, Angela Griffin. Is Angela here? I don't know if Angela is in chat. Angela Griffin is awesome, and they came up with calling the growing group of H3 orbiters the H3 galaxy in chat last time, and I just loved that. Oh my god, we have 2 witches in chat. You guys should be friends. But yeah, so H3 galaxy, I just love it because, you know, I was like, ugh, orbiter, I don't love. Mostly because I feel like it's just been like tainted, right? By Hassan and friends. Why can't I add more than one of these? This is dumb. I want to make sure I got chat everywhere. There it is. See, guys, we're working it out. And I made it a little bit bigger because people were saying that the font was really small. So hopefully you enjoy that. So yeah, we're going to be, I guess we're kind of called the H3 Galaxy. you can find links to some of the people in my description now, I believe. And if things change or more people come around, I'll add them in. We also, I mean, it's very loose. It's a loose association. We're not trying to do anything crazy, but just wanted to share that. H3 Cinematic Universe. Yeah, apparently one of the guys told me that was a thing, and it kind of imploded when Ethan's basement went off the rails. So that is not the name we are going with, I guess. But I mean, yeah. So there's that. I don't know. I don't know what'll come of it, but I love, if I am involved in something, I'm gonna organize it. Like, I'm gonna try and connect people. That's just what I want to do. That's what I want to be doing. So as soon as I realized that there were a couple other people doing this, I was like, guys, we gotta like connect and share each other's stuff and shout each other out, so we all have a good time and we all, like, a rising tide lifts all boats. Like, that's how I feel. And yeah. Oh, Ethan's basement. He claims he was on Ethan's payroll. I wonder about that, because we're going to talk a little bit about it later, and I really hope I will get to a point where I don't have to talk about this, but it just keeps being relevant. When I was DMing with Taylor Lorenz about Ethan, she specifically said that I have talked to people that worked with Ethan who are very concerned about him. I was like, who would have done that? I can't think of anyone that would have done that working there now or before. And then when I found out that Ethan's basement has been saying that he was on the payroll, I was like, that makes sense. I don't know if it's true, right? But if it was someone, I think that that's a decent guess. So there's that. All right, we got super chats added here. Thank y'all so much. Did you guys see Love's new sticker shop? I just saw it today. Young Fika, shopyoungfika.com. This is so funny. And I love the little cursor is Fat Love's face. I love Love so much. This is my first ever sticker pack. This has been very, very, very long in the making, so I'm super excited. He is literally such a gem. Oh, Jake Doolittle, another good guess. America ruined love. I love that he was like, America did a number on me. I think that was like the perfect way to say it. I was like, dude, same. It's done a number on all of us in one way or another, Yeah, so get your love stickers. Has anyone here bought them yet? I just want to like start seeing them around in the world, I feel like whenever I pull up into like a Starbucks drive-through, there's always a bunch of crazy stickers. So get your love stickers while they're hot. Okay, I think that is, oh, what's coming Friday? Okay, so I teased a little something on YouTube. I have received a packet of information. I do not know why I was chosen for this. Maybe just because I've been really outspoken lately. It's not from someone in the H3 crew. It's not related to the podcast or the show. But I have received a large archive of someone's misogynistic tweets from just a few years ago. And so I want to look through those. I haven't done it yet. No, it's not. I didn't get anything from Ethan. It is not from anyone. It is not sent to me from anyone from the show. Okay. You might get on the TFPR list at some point. I was hoping it was that. Oh my God, I wish. Teddy Glow. I already DM'd Hila about it. She's never going to see it, but I gave it a shot because I have a lot of followers on Instagram. So sometimes my messages like will get through. Anyway, so Friday, my cats are ruining things in the living room right now. On Friday, yes, I did receive a dossier of sorts. Also, I like surprise made some of you mods to help out Victoria. I don't know if we're ever going to need that, but I have started to see like little snarky stuff come through. I got called a P word today. I also got called like a fat pop Zio girl bot, like some stupid shit. I was like, what language are you people speaking? So, okay. So yeah, I am going to look through the dossier and see if it is of merit. I did ask questions about where it came from, why it was made, where it's been shared before, just so I have all that information for y'all. And I will share it if it is relevant. If I look at it and I'm like, meh. But if it's damning, I mean, I think, and it is a public document that I guess some people have seen, then we'll see. We'll see if it's worthy. As I've said, I'm not here to just like throw mud, but I am going to enjoy some of the mud that's being thrown when it is, in my opinion, warranted. So there's that. So potentially a very interesting stream on Friday evening. How do you want us to handle snarkers? Do you want us to bounce them? Oh, hang on. Do you want us to bounce them immediately, or do you want us to wait until they get seriously offensive since we're reasonable? People can stay unless they're being obnoxious, like if they're spamming, obviously, and if they're being abusive to like anybody in here. If they have disagreements, like I think that we can just try to either ignore them or respond, right? So, but also if people in the chat are like, get this person out of here, and they feel that way, I'm also okay with it being kind of like a democracy at the moment, because there is, I mean, we're still, it's not too many of us. Cooking a duck and listening. Ooh. The only time I've had duck was as poutine, and it was so effing good. I like the way you respond to snarkers, not welcoming them by any means. Yeah, that was something. Did I say it? Did I put it in my notes? Yes. Okay. Actually, this is a great segue because this is what I wanted to talk about next. So, obviously the new video, which if y'all haven't seen it, let me pull up just the cover of it. The latest video talks about the current favorite talking point of the snarkers, which is the video of Ethan making disgusting jokes about an 18-year-old who was a victim and survivor of the Boston Marathon bombing, which was a really scary time. I was living in Massachusetts when it happened. I was on a train in Connecticut the next day when they stopped the train to search it for the guys. That was fucking terrifying. I was on a train to New York City, and we just got off the train and went back to New Haven because we were fucking freaked out. So I remember it well. I do not think that he should have made that video. I think it was fucked up. And you can watch that video to find out my full take on it, as well as my real problem, which is with the whole premise of the argument that they're putting forth. Because, listen, if you are a fan of a streamer today that has been around for 10 years, they were saying fucked up shit on the internet 10 years ago. It was like Edgelord City. I mean, go back, look at the stuff that Anissa was saying, right? I mean, everyone has a history, and some people chose to put it all online. But anyway, so true to form, snarkers are finding this video. I made it because there's so much silence on our side about this video because I think people don't know how to talk about it, right? So I made the video with my opinion. You can use it or not. So yeah, I've been called a pedophile, disgusting, saying that we're just like Kanye fans because they literally cannot make an argument without a false equivalence, right? And here's the thing when it comes to snarkers. in order for me to feel shame about someone's criticism of me, in order for me to feel bad, to get defensive, I have to respect that person. Like, I'd have to believe that you are trafficking in truth, that your moral compass is sound, and that you're coming from a genuine place with your criticism. And I don't believe any of that is true about these snarkers, so I don't care. Like, I literally don't care. And hopefully y'all can feel that way too. So yeah, like just in general, all the abusive language is pointless. It doesn't hurt me. I got attention on Instagram in 2020 for making fun of Trumpers at their little street side standouts. The kind of shit that was said to me then, y'all ain't got nothing on them. And also, callback, I was a teenage girl. I've been like, you know what I mean? I've been called every version of fat you can think of. Like, it's not creative, and it just bounces right off. It just bounces right off. And so just a reminder of like one of my favorite quotes that is particularly useful right now as we weather this craziness is no one can make you feel inferior without your consent. Eleanor Roosevelt. Huge lesbian, by the way. Oh, wait, do I have it on here? Hang on. Oh, no! I have to fix. Hang on. I have a couple lesbian tangents tonight. This is one of them. Okay, hang on. Webcam. Okay. Okay. Yeah, so no one from the lesbian icon herself, Eleanor Roosevelt. I didn't even plan this to be a lesbian tangent. No one can make you feel inferior without your consent. So don't let these ding-dongs tell you about yourself or anybody else. Don't bend over backwards explaining and defending things. They hate Ethan. That's what it is. They hate him. They're not going to change their minds. Let them go. Let go and let God is what I say. You have nothing to explain to them. They're not arguing in good faith. They don't care. Who cares if they think you're a pedophile? I certainly don't. I don't know what Spyro is, but shout out me for distracting you. I love that so much. So yeah, so that is the last thing I wanted to say about the snarkers. Just unplug from them, man. Just unplug. They're always going to think the worst of us because we watch Ethan Klein. So just let them. Who cares? I don't care. Like literally at all. Okay. So that actually leads us into my real lesbian tangent. I need to add it on my stream deck, but for now, come to my window. I kind of want to add that as a clip, but I don't know if I'll just like get claimed for that. We need to talk about the WNBA for a second. Does anyone here watch the WNBA? That's my first question. So, Sophie Cunningham is known is a player in the WNBA. Her name, or she plays for the Indiana Fever. And this, where's the clip? Hang on. So she plays for the Indiana Fever, which is the team that Caitlin Clark plays on, as we all know. Oh, is it just in this thing here? Sorry, guys. I'm trying to find the actual video for running her stupid mouth. Here it is. This dumb bitch. Okay, sorry. Okay, so Sophie Cunningham, this is her. She plays with Caitlin Clark in Indiana. We'll get into who she is. But this week, the WNBA announced that they are going to be expanding into 3 new cities. by 2030. So just 5 years. It's going to be 3 more teams, which is really, really exciting, especially since we already have Portland coming. We just got San Francisco, or the Bay Area, Golden State Valkyries this year. So some big, exciting things are happening for the league in which Sophie plays, the league that pays her, right? But she decided to open her silly little mouth and say some stuff about the cities that are being chosen for this expansion. The cities are Detroit, Cleveland, and Philadelphia. We will talk about what these cities have in common in just a moment, but for now, this is what Sophie had to say about this expansion.
Because it is helpful. It's way more helpful. You just get more perks, there's more opportunities, and so I get that aspect. But I also think that you want to listen to your players too. Like
you want to. All right. So she's saying it's a great opportunity, but you want to listen to your players too.
Where do they want to play? Where are they going to get excited to play and draw fans?
Where are they going to get excited to play and draw fans? She's saying this while sitting in fucking Indiana. Okay.
I think that Miami would have been a great one. Like, everyone loves Florida. Nashville is an amazing city.
So she thinks it should have been Miami and Nashville. Miami, I don't disagree. Nashville? Is that because you've gone on like 40 bachelorette trips there?
Kansas City, amazing opportunity. There's
Kansas City, okay.
A huge arena downtown that no one's using. And I think that the Women's Soccer League is showing that, like, people draw, and so I'm not so sure what the thought process is there. But at the end of the day, you also want to make sure that you're not expanding our league too fast. I think that's also another thing that...
So we want to make sure we're not expanding too fast.
We don't want teams to totally dominate and then have teams that aren't. And so I just think that it's kind of a hard decision-making team or situation. But
okay, so she's dumb, and I will tell you why. So she says that there are other cities that would be more of a draw, that would be more interesting to players, interesting to fans than these 3 teams that they have chosen. Now, you might be wondering, what do these 3 cities have in common? Well, Detroit and Cleveland are 2 of the largest Black majority cities in the country. And while Philly isn't technically a Black majority city, it has a 42% Black population, and that is a higher population than any other race. So I do not think that this is a coincidence, especially given Sophie Cunningham's history. She is known by normal WNBA fans as MAGA Barbie because she had some dumb shit to say about trans athletes. So why is this not working? Okay, that's them. So yeah, so she apparently retweeted some stuff about, here it is. She retweeted some stuff about the trans woman swimmer, Leah Thomas, who, was swimming and she won a championship. And the person who complained was not the young woman who was 2nd place or 3rd place or even 4th place. It was a 5th place loser who made a huge deal about losing to a trans woman. Girl, you also lost to 3 cis women, bitch. So Sophie took her little ass online and she retweeted this tweet from Josh Pate. Does it still exist? Let's see. Nope, of course it doesn't. Of course he deleted it. Female collegiate athletes deserve so much better than this. So she retweets that, right? I can't tell you, I'm sure my wife knows the number. The WNBA is chock full of lesbians. And it is a group of people who, and someday there probably will be trans women, non-binary people in the league, right? Because they're an open and affirming place to play fucking sports. So this did not go over well with the WNBA community, and they clapped back at what she had to say. And in response, this is what Sophie had to say. I've never seen a clearer non-apology in my life. She stands with all people, especially my fellow athletes. We all have a place in this world to compete, and I hope we're able to grant everyone that opportunity fairly. Couching it. She stands with all people, especially my fellow athletes, as in like the women she's defending from trans women. So she sucks. And as a result of her sucking, she has lost friends in the W, including Natasha Cloud, who is one of my WNBA girlfriends. Thank you very much. But apparently when they were teammates in Phoenix, Natasha Cloud decided to stop being friends with her while they were still teammates because of all the shit that was going on. Cunningham is known for reposting transphobic and MAGA content. Fans questioned Cloud on the friendship, some asking how she could be friends with a person like that. Cloud defended their friendship, saying that the dialogue is important and even blocked some fans who pushed back. So in the beginning, Natasha Cloud thought that she could get through to MAGA Barbie. But then Cloud had this to say, and this was end of last year. On her last TikTok live, Cloud said, "You can't tell someone you love them and then vote against their life." And that was how she dropped that she and Sophie Cunningham, aka MAGA Barbie, are no longer friends. So, I mean, all of this is just so rich. First of all, you're talking about no one wanting to visit these cities and nobody wanting to play in these cities while you're sitting in Indiana. Literally the only reason anyone wants to play in Indiana is because Caitlin Clark is on the team, which is its own thing, because the racism that's been coming out of Indiana and around the country because of Caitlin Clark, not that it's her fault, but because, you know, the racist hitchhikers have hooked onto her. It's been insane. And now they bring, and this is Sophie's first year, so it's like they're just kind of doubling down on like the white supremacy thing. And like, so that's rich. And also, why should we care what she thinks? Would you like to see what Sophie's current record is? Because I thought that was really interesting. This is somebody who thinks that she can have opinions about where the next WNBA team is. She's averaging 5.5 points a game. Not even a single assist. She's playing like half the time. 5 points a game. 5 points a whole game. 5 points in the 20-something minutes that she plays. That's garbage. That is garbage. So yeah, she can fix her mouth to say some shit about these basketball cities. The Cavaliers. Who's in Detroit? There was the Detroit Shock. I mean, they had a WNBA team. The Pistons now, and then Philly with the 76ers. My cats are going crazy. So yeah, so I'm just sick of her shit. And honestly, I personally cannot wait for a Philly team, because I already want to move there. And the good news is Cleveland and Detroit are not taking this laying down. They responded to Sophie. Here we have the city of Cleveland using Caitlin Clark against her, which I love. Sophie, your teammate doesn't think Cleveland is too bad. We're proud to have been chosen to host a WNBA team, and any player who comes here will feel that legendary passion Cleveland sports fans show our teams. Let's hear what Caitlin had to say.
Yeah, it's been really cool. I think, it was super cool. We went to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame last night. I think you could stay in there for about a week and still have more things to do. But I've never been to Cleveland before. It's been awesome. Honestly, it feels like low-key kind of like just a bigger version of my hometown, like Des Moines, Iowa. It's just obviously a bigger city, and I'm excited to play here. Obviously, with LeBron James being like the face of Cleveland and being able to play here when he first started his NBA career, that's just super cool. So I think more than anything, we're just excited about the opportunity, and we're happy to be in Cleveland. Yeah.
Well, there you go. That's what Caitlin Clark, your teammate, had to say about it. I wonder why she doesn't think that Cleveland's like a stinker city. Maybe because she knows things. I don't know how excited people are going to be to going to Detroit or Cleveland. I fucking can't. So then Detroit said, where's Detroit's? Hang on. Where did Detroit's go? Oh, the city of Detroit issued a response. Here it is. The last time we were home to a WNBA team, the Detroit Shock, we ranked top 5 in attendance for 5 straight seasons, number 1 in attendance for 3 straight seasons, and set a single game attendance record of 22,076 fans at Game 3 of the 2003 WNBA Finals. Additionally, more than 775,000 people were excited to come to Detroit for the 2024 NFL Draft. Detroit is a sports town. Obviously. We're sure we'll see the same excitement for the WNBA returning. 100,000%. This was some ignorant shit, and I'm so glad that the cities are speaking out. As far as I know, no one in Philly has said anything yet, but maybe they're just loading up their socks with batteries, and they're just going to handle it in the streets. You know what I mean? Okay, so yeah, that brings us to the end of our lesbian tangent. I just can't wait for these new teams, especially Philly. Philly, as you may know, is my favorite city. So there's that. Yeah, you lost a 3-sis amendment. Yeah, you suck at the sport. Yeah, for sure. I'm a little behind in the stream, but I love the lesbian tangent screen. Thank you, Sarah. Curse you for making me interested in sports, but I am fed right now. Because this is nuts. I'm glad the cities are speaking up. Philly is definitely putting the locks in the socks right now. 100,000%. Yeah. And so the other thing about Sophie is she has the reason that people are even talking to her, and it's so freaking annoying, is that, why is this not charging, love? Sorry guys, give me a sec. The reason that they're even talking to Sophie is because she recently got fined for attacking someone on my team, the Connecticut Sun. And it was in response to the girl on my team, JC Sheldon, going after Caitlin. So freaking Sophie wrapped her up, arms around her neck, and dragged her down while she was running. And the Fever fans loved it, and the internet loved it. Everyone is centering this absolute hack who can only score 5 points a game. And so they just keep talking about her, and I'm so sick of it, because it's just accelerating all the racism that was kind of felt like it was dying down after Caitlin's freshman season, her rookie season. Hi, Sinister. Manola says, I only know hockey, but Philly has the GOAT mascots. Gritty has no time for Barbie's nonsense. Amen. And speaking of hockey, the PWHL, the Professional Women's Hockey League, which we also have season tickets to for Boston. My wife was wearing a PWHL hat when she was in Michigan, and some guy was like, oh my God, Boston Fleet. And he knew the team. He knew the league, and he was like, I can't wait for Detroit to get a team. And I think they are. So, everyone watches women's sports, as the shirt says, Everyone watches women's sports. All right, so let's get into the reason that we're here. Okay? So, Taylor. If you were on Twitter yesterday, you saw Taylor Lorenz getting in a fight with Natalie Wynn, I believe her name is. I just know her as ContraPoints. And it didn't, in my estimation, it did not go well for Taylor. Of course, it's not just about
socialist
Shh, Natalie, 1 second. It's not just about winning, of course, but she just looked, in my opinion, kind of insane. So the two of them got into it, and we will run down exactly what happened. But first, like just a little overview. So Taylor Lorenz is an independent. Taylor cringe. Taylor is an independent journalist. She was working at Washington Post until 2024, and she left the Washington Post following an internal investigation. So apparently she posted an image on Instagram that labeled President Joe Biden a war criminal. And she left after that. Some people think that she was fired. Some people think that they asked her to resign, and she and others believe or purport that she left of her own accord. I have no idea which one is true. I would like to believe her and her experience, but it's getting harder and harder as she clearly just keeps lying and doubling down to what end, I am not entirely sure. Not entirely sure. So that is Taylor. And then we have ContraPoints, who is one of my favorite people on the internet. Definitely my favorite person that is doing video essays. And I have a clip of one of her best ones. Where is it? Right here. So she does these amazing video essays. They're not always about politics, but they always have like a philosophical approach to them. And it's always like about one thing, but then it expands out, and they're like almost 3 hours long sometimes. And she spends months and months and months making them. And she has all the sets and the costumes, and the amount of work that goes into these is incredible. And I don't think anybody else is doing it right now. I don't see anybody else making like that kind of deep content, like esoteric content. And I really, really love it. Of course, my like binging brain, my internet brain is like, put out more videos. Do 5 of these a month, shoot it into my veins, right? But she's like Fiona Apple. If anyone here is a Fiona Apple fan, that lady puts out one album like every 7 years. And I love every single one of them. I haven't really loved the latest ones, but one came out when I was in middle school. One came out like at the end of high school. One came out when I was like end of college. Like I think it's like literally 5 to 7 years between albums, to the point where you'd almost forget about her. And but it was always a wonderful time when the album actually did come out. And that's how I feel about ContraPoints. She just makes these incredible videos. Her latest one, called Conspiracy, is so good. I also recommend watching her videos that are about Twilight. I am not a Twilight fan at all. I've never seen any of the movies, never read any of the books. The closest I've been is watching Ethan and Hila and the crew respond to Twilight. But the videos aren't just about Twilight, right? Like, she makes it about so much more than that. And she also has a great one about J.K. Rowling, which is really good as well. ContraPoints is a trans woman, and so her opinions on J.K. are really, really thoughtful and incisive. But here she is talking about something that is related to what the feud was about on Twitter. So again, this is from ContraPoints' new video, Conspiracy, where she talks about the psychology of cults and the sociology of cults.
Their complaint is that the elite are not people like us. Socialist intellectuals tend to be very optimistic about transcending gut-level blood-and-soil nationalism by redirecting attention to intellectual class analysis.
So basically, she's saying what people were saying on Twitter, which is that anti-Semitism is not a problem on the left. That we're above that. That's literally, and this was months ago that she put this out. It's like she saw it coming. Yeah, 3 months ago.
But anti-Semitism is the socialism of fools, and there's a lot of fools. Leftism, unfortunately, does not inoculate people against foolishness.
Duh! Aren't we seeing that? And let me tell you, the fools lined up in her comments, including Taylor. The echo in her house?
Socialist revolutions are always at risk of turning nationalist. Stalin diverged from Marx, declaring socialism in one country, and despite his role in defeating Hitler, he eventually went on to carry out his own little purge of rootless cosmopolitans, that is, Jews. Fools of the world unite. In a video
Okay, so basically, yeah, she's saying that you can be a leftist and still be anti-Semitic, because being anti-Semitic is often tied to populism. Like, they are the global elite, right? They're not like us. So clearly she has an eye for this kind of thing. And she pointed out a little piece of it here. So June 29th, a couple days ago, she responded to this video by a man named Rathbone, who we will talk about shortly. Rathbone made a video basically saying that every president except for JFK were essentially licking the boots of Israel, even though Israel didn't exist until 1948. Every U.S. president not named JFK. And here he is pretending that this is like the Wailing Wall in Israel, I believe. Okay. So someone says, this is anti-Semitic, right? I mean, it has nothing to do with Israel per se. It's something related to Judaism, not Zionism. This is anti-Semitic, right? Right. Like the Wailing Wall is not, I mean, it's in Israel, right? And then Natalie says, are you guys just now noticing that like 50% of the discourse on this app is Jew hate? Now, at no point does she say anything about leftism, right? Is Rathbone a leftist? Yes. And that is why a certain someone jumped in to sweep for him and all the male leftists that say anti-Semitic stuff, as she usually does, right? So she says this, and when I read this, I thought, yeah, it's probably even higher than that. And I was really thinking more about like the right-wing anti-Semitism. I honestly thought this guy was right-wing, and it just felt like a QAnon thing because they're just so obsessed with JFK. You see how the horseshoe theory works. Okay, so this happens. She calls out Rathbone, not even intentionally targeting him, but Taylor Lorenz shows up, and we will see why. Are you trying to claim that 50% of the leftist discourse on this app is Jew hate? She never said leftist. Like ever. Okay. Oh, hang on one second. I didn't add all my things to this. Hi, everyone. I don't have chat up on here. I can't see it. One sec, y'all. I just want to make sure I at least have chat on here. There we go. Hi, everyone. Yeah, so she was not talking about leftism specifically at all. But of course, Taylor had to insert herself and make it about leftism. So then Natalie's like, okay, we can talk about leftism. So Natalie says, no, I'm not claiming that. And Taylor says, so what is the claim? The claim is literally that 50% of the discourse is Jew hate. the discourse, the conversations that are happening on this app are anti-Semitic. The app is literally owned by a Nazi. You can say all the anti-Jewish stuff you want. Like, Taylor, stop being obtuse and stop like making yourself a victim when no one was talking to you. So what is the claim? Because you started by making a claim about this app and then started talking about the left. So just trying to understand the convo. What? Okay, so she came back to this apparently. She came back to this top tweet after reading through this thread. So, do you genuinely not get that this is referencing a conspiracy theory that the Zionists killed JFK? Of course it's fucking Vadim. This man is everywhere. Why is this man everywhere? I don't think that's what the poster was referencing. Rathbone knows that JFK was pro-Israeli, and I'd be surprised to find out that he was remotely believes that was the case. Well, then what is he saying? What is he even saying in that video? I can't help but jump in when I see you making a statement that, in my honest opinion, does not help address genuine anti-Semitism at all. Pointing the finger in the wrong direction so strongly just contributes to the hysteria that keeps us from blah, 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 blah. Okay? This is another post from Rathbone in which he says, man, I didn't think anyone could rehabilitate Hitler's image, and then Netanyahu came along. To me, that means, yeah, Hitler was kind of based for what he did. Because this Jewish guy in Israel and what he's doing, right? Okay, so Natalie says, Taylor, look at the thread you're responding to. I cited an example of blatant anti-Semitism. And then a bunch of leftists jumped in to say that, no, that's not anti-Semitism. Nobody was talking specifically about leftism until the leftists showed up to talk about anti-Semitism and leftism. There's a phrase that I use a lot online because it always happens in the comment section. A hit dog will holler. It means if someone feels like they're being accused, they're going to let you know. If you say something and it's about them, they're going to pipe right up to let you know that you were right. So a bunch of leftists jumped in to say that, no, that's not anti-Semitism. There is no leftist anti-Semitism. I dug into this thread because I remember seeing that tweet too of some moron being like, anti-Semitism is like incompatible with leftism. It doesn't make sense. We don't have it. It's not a thing. Like, that is so dumb. That's not even true. But either that person deleted it or I just couldn't find it while I was digging. I don't see this as just a negligible fringe issue, right? It's not like just some crazy people on the left are being anti-Semitic. It is a problem. Anti-Semitism across the board is a problem. Racism is also prevalent in leftist circles. And so is misogyny. Like, all of the systemic issues that exist in the world also exist in the leftist community. Because you're human, you're not perfect. You were still raised and socialized a certain way. And because of that, you have certain biases. And if you think that being a leftist just absolves you of those things, then you're not paying attention to them. And you're not unpacking them and really dismantling them. Idiots. I don't see people saying that leftist anti-Semitism doesn't exist. Well, it was there, Taylor. I also saw it. I can corroborate that. But if you say 50% of this app is Jew hate, look at the twist she's taking here. If you say 50% of this app is Jew hate, then point to a communist creator, of course people will ask you to clarify. People being you and all of your other nutjob leftist friends. If someone's being anti-Semitic, it doesn't matter if they're leftist or not. I don't understand these people's inability to like read a sentence and comprehend that what the sentence means instead of adding all of this weird subtext on top of it. Nowhere did she say that this is only a leftist problem and leftists are all anti-Semitic. But she's basically confirming it. It seems like you're conflating anti-Zionism with anti-Semitism too. What? He's not. The thing is, they have made the definition of Zionism very broad. And they have also made the definition of anti-Zionism to include at least a little bit of anti-Semitism. Like, can we admit that? Can we admit that some people who call themselves anti-Zionist are also anti-Semitic? Because Rathbone said that about himself. Here we go.
There's not really much to be said for whatever Ethan says here. Congrats.
So this is Ethan. Ethan responded, and we'll see that. But I think it bears showing now that, oh, he's just a communist. He's not anti-Semitic.
Congratulating the person for, I don't know, calling my post anti-Semitic. Look, if being against genocide means that I am also an anti-Semite, punch my fucking ticket, okay? That's my reaction right there. Punch my goddamn ticket. I'm a fucking anti-Semite. If that's what it takes to be anti-genocide, if that's what it takes to stand up and say we condemn the Israeli state for its apartheid, ethnic cleansing, and genocide, and that makes me an anti-Semite, then so be it, because I'd rather be an anti-Semite than pro-genocide.
Literally nowhere does it say that you have to be anti-Semitic to be anti-genocide or even anti-Israel. No one is saying that, and no one forced you to upload this fucking video. If being anti-Zionist means I'm an anti-Semite, well, I guess I'm an anti-Semite. So fucking gross. So gross. So that's Rathbone. He's a really cool guy. Oh, and also, I love this part. So he shares this. Ethan Klein and somebody named Contrapoints called me an anti-Semite for satirically pointing out Israel's vice-like grip on American presidents. It was a terrible, stupid video. And whether you're admitting here you're an anti-Semite. So, like, it's not like you didn't mean it to have those undertones. But look what we got. We got Harley. We got Harley in chat from the fucking top ropes. Oh, damn. It's that guy that had a unique relationship with one of his high school students when he was her teacher. Creepy ass dude. I don't know what that's about. I did not have enough time to look into this like Rathbone high school teacher thing. Let's see if we can find anything quickly. I see I tried. School teacher. He used to be a music teacher who quit teaching. Who quit teaching to start a musical duo with his then 14-year-old student who appears in some of his videos. Ew, is that true? Ew. Gross. This will hang on. We have a snarker in chat. This will follow you everywhere. I don't care if people like you dislike me or think that I'm some shameful, horrible person. I don't care. This will follow you everywhere. Get real. Because you think so? Because you think that watching H3 is going to ruin my life, that means it will? Your magic has no power here, as they say. It really doesn't. she was 18 or 19. Why are people saying she was 14? Oh, you guys are talking about the girl. Yeah. So yeah, that's apparently that is Rathbone. I don't know how true that is. But that is what is on here. And I think it's really interesting that when y'all are, I think it's interesting that when snarkers have an issue with someone, it's never enough to just be like, I disagree with them. It's always, they're a pedophile. They did blackface. They like just calling up either made up or very old, terrible things that they've done. It's very Russian propaganda. Like compromat. Do you guys know what compromat is? It's also like what Scientologists do. When you become a Scientologist, they make you tell them all the bad things that you've ever done. And they say that it's kind of like purging. But then if you try to leave Scientology, they publicize all of the bad things that you did. So if you find yourself doing that, you might be in a cult. If you find yourself attacking people, attacking their character to that degree, you might be in a cult, because that is a thing. Okay, here it is. Kompromat is a Russian term referring to compromising information used to damage a person's reputation, often for blackmail or to exert influence. It's a strategic tool in political and business spheres involving the collection, storage, and dissemination of potentially damaging information. This information can range from financial crimes to sexual misconduct, and its release can be intended to manipulate or control individuals, including silencing them. And this is why I made the video about the marathon survivor and Ethan's stupid, poor taste video about it. Because you can only use that shit against someone when they feel ashamed of it. I feel no shame for clarifying the background of that video. These cats are going nuts. I feel no shame about clarifying the background of that video. Not even a sliver. You can call me a pedophile all you want. I am a gay woman. Do you know how many times I've been called a fucking groomer and a pedophile by the people that you pretend to hate on the right? Forgive me if I don't give a fuck about your opinion, because if you're sounding like those nut jobs, you have lost the plot. You are in a cult. You are in a cult. Okay. Thank you. Yeah, if whoever that is being annoying, they can leave. Okay. So Rathbone says he's anti-Semitic. Kind of stepping on Taylor saying that leftist anti-Semitism is not a huge problem. And then she says this: Zionism is a Nazi ideology. And I've seen leftists saying that in a couple of places, so I wanted to look it up for myself. All right, so in the beginning of Hitler's reign, he was very cool. He and the Nazis were very cool with Jewish people in Germany leaving, German Jews, in them leaving Germany to go to Israel, because they're like, ew, Jews, like, that's fine. If that's where they want to go, peace the fuck out, right? They were essentially pushing them out at that point, expelling them to Israel. But then something happened. The scales kind of tipped after the war started, and they started really ramping up their final solution against the Jews, aka killing them all, right? And Hitler got worried that too many Jews were now going to Israel, or to Palestine as it was under British rule at the time. Apologies for getting that backwards. That there were too many Jews setting up camp in Israel or in Palestine, and that it was going to create another base for world Jewry during the war. And so at that point, he stopped letting Jewish people leave Germany for Palestine and instead just killed them. And then in 1943 and 1944, the Germans considered bombing Jewish cities in Palestine, even as the Nazi Empire was collapsing. The Third Reich's plans for the final solution extended to the Middle East. So I found that interesting. So Hitler never liked Zionism. He saw it as something useful. He saw it as a way to get rid of Jews, but then he was like, oh shit, there's so many Jews over there. They're going to like coalesce. They're going to like get together and maybe like stop me from killing all the Jews here. Y'all need to chill out. So I just thought that was interesting because I have seen people say what Taylor says here about Zionism being a Nazi ideology. It was not. I mean, maybe she means that as like Zionism means that people, like Palestinian people are treated the way Jews were treated by Hitler. But it isn't a Nazi ideology. That's not true. That's not something that Hitler was a fan of. So more misrepresentation, more lies from Taylor. I don't think anybody's surprised by that. Let's see. It's so embarrassing for these people to quote promote videos that have been cut to the point of being completely misleading. Yeah. I mean, they're always going to do that. And that's what I'm saying. Like, it's not worth fighting with these people. They're never going to be reasonable people. That's not what they're here to do. Right? Did you guys notice that my screen hasn't frozen at all tonight? We love that. Turns out my computer's storage was too close to full. Okay, so she says Zionism is a Nazi thing. Natalie says, you are the one making this conflation. If anti-Zionism sometimes means opposition to genocide in Gaza, which is, I think, that kind of anti-Zionism a lot of us are, and other times means the Zios killed JFK because he was the only president they couldn't control, maybe Hitler had a point, I think that will have bad consequences. Yes, so Natalie is saying maybe the umbrella for anti-Zionism is a little too wide. Maybe on like the edges of the umbrella, we're getting a little hand wavy. We're like, oh, they can be a little anti-Semitic because they don't want genocide to happen, which is literally what Rathbone said, right? Sure, if being an anti-genocide makes me an anti-Semite, yeah, I am one. And everyone's like, that's cool. He's a communist. Nowhere here did I or anyone, Taylor, you are insufferable. Did I or anyone replying to this thread that I've seen say the second thing? Yeah, of course they're not going to say it out loud. Like, what are you talking about? Of course they're not going to say it out loud. This is like the semantic abuse that I've been talking about with Taylor and Kat. And it's interesting because they're writers for a living. So they're very good at it. Anti-Zionism is not anti-Semitism. And I think when your content is being used by a Zionist like Klein, who's bringing up Ethan Klein? Nowhere in this entire thread at any point did she say that. She has not talked about Ethan or anything related to Ethan, Hassan, any of that drama. But here comes Taylor to bring it up because she can't think about anything else. Like, the only way she would know this is if she's like following Ethan and what he's posting in his stories and all of that. Obsessed. I think when your content is being used by a Zionist like Klein, again, the idea of Ethan being public enemy number one is so freaking stupid. Thank you, Alex. Thank you so much. I need to make sure I have that sound on. Let me get my super chatties on. There it is. Justice for Wheat Thins. Hila roasted Taylor? Where did she roast her? On Instagram? We'll look at it because I did put up the... I know that. Thank you, Alex. I don't know why I played twice. Okay, so yeah, nowhere has anybody mentioned Ethan Klein. So watch this shit. You might want to consider that your message could have been communicated with more nuance. Stop policing the way other people talk about things. I don't think this issue is reducible to Hassan versus Ethan. No one mentioned Hassan here. Girl, you opened the door talking about Ethan Klein. Like, it's just so disingenuous. We know what you're doing. It's so silly. I said if your post is being leveraged by a well-known Zionist, Ethan Klein, half of the people here, and we all know what camp you're in, it probably is worth clarifying your message. And then she got no response from Natalie. 2 hours later, she comes back to say, because clearly she was just thinking about it nonstop. Just reiterating that if a well-known Zionist was using my post to further his bad faith hate campaign against people who have been calling out the genocide in Gaza, I'd consider if I was effectively communicating my message. Just sharing for posterity. Just the most passive-aggressive, again, I'll say it, mean girl shit. Just the most mean girl shit. Sharing for posterity, meaning you're gonna regret this. This fucking passive-aggressive bullshit. Also, calling out the genocide in Gaza does not make you immune from criticism about other things. Someone criticizing you does not mean they're trying to silence you as a voice for Palestinians. Like, how dumb are you? Oh, this is great. I think this was earlier at some point, but I have a point to make here. So they're talking about the presidents and blah, blah, blah. And Taylor goes, not going to litigate this video. She literally commented on this video and has been litigating Natalie's points about this video. And then she goes, not going to litigate this video. But I think that when making claims like 50% of the discourse on this app is Jew hate, it's extremely important to note that 99.9% of anti-Semitism on this app is from the far right, actual neo-Nazis who Musk has embraced, not communist TikTokers. I do not think that those percentages are right at all. And also, like, why are you sweeping for this guy? Why are you sweeping for Rathbone, the communist? And she keeps calling out that he's a communist, and I'm not really sure why. But I do know why she's sweeping for him. I think I might have... There he is. Okay. Here's why. She's following literally his account, some other account of his with only 3,000 followers. So that's his real one. This is probably a fan account. And this is also a fan account. She is obsessed with this guy. I'm not saying it in a sexual way. I'm just saying she really likes his content and is caping for him hard. Hard, hard, hard. Okay, but the point that I was wanted to talk about here, yes, is the not going to litigate this video. This is something that I am learning that Taylor says when she doesn't want to go down an avenue she doesn't know enough about. I'm not going to litigate it. So it makes it sound like, oh, you're being so weird about it, right? Like, why do you even want to talk about that? It doesn't mean anything. How I know this is she said something similar to me in my DMs. When I asked her for proof about what Zionist nonsense Ethan was spreading. She said, I do not have time to educate you on this whole thing. And I said, he believes in a two-state solution. Again, I'm not going to argue about Israel. That's literally all you do online. What are you talking about? You cooked her. Like, what are you saying? I am actually speaking to people involved. You are not. Yeah, like Ethan's basement. So yeah, that like gave me a flashback to her saying the same thing to me of being like, I don't have time for this. Even though I've been DMing with a fucking random person about it. All of a sudden I don't have time to educate me. Girl, I've seen very few people online speaking with less information than you lately. To be fair. Okay, so yeah, so we have yeah, I'm definitely a anti-Semite if I'm anti-genocide. We have Rathbone saying that. Rathbone, Taylor's favorite. He also said this, which is interesting. God chose some little bitches, apparently. He said this today. 15,000 views. God's chosen people is not Israelis, it's Jews. That's a term for Jews, not Israelis. That's anti-Semitism. Cut and dry. That's not anti-genocide. That's not anti-Zionism. That is being hateful about Jews. That is calling all Jews little bitches. God, and then let's look at the comments that this communist, which I guess that like makes him immune from criticism. Let's see what kind of audience he is courting here. God has terrible taste in friends. Also, they're soft, whining little creatures with no backbone or soul. Dehumanization, no soul. That's like a known anti-Semitic trope, right? I mean, I'll say this for Rathbone. He is being very honest about his anti-Semitism. I honestly wish more leftists were like this, because then we'd know who to listen to and who not to listen to. Hey, this app looks awesome, right? Okay, then what's this one? Oh, here we go. And then here's Taylor in that thread, basically saying that being against a genocide isn't enough. Crashing out, calling Ethan a Zionist when he literally says Israel is committing a genocide. Also, donates money for Palestine. Cried about the murders of Palestinian children. Voted against Netanyahu while he lived in Israel. Like, this is your public enemy number one. This is the person that it is worth going after to this degree. By the way, ContraPoints, you're going to be a well-known Zionist soon too. Yeah, because they just say things. They just paint people how they want. So what Taylor says is, plenty of Zionists pay lip service to the genocide. So now being anti-genocide, if you're Jewish, means that you're just paying lip service and you're full of shit. Unless you are like Matt Lieb. If you are someone who doesn't think Israel should be bombed off the face of the earth, and that there should be a reasonable solution to what is happening right now, because millions and millions of people aren't just going to disappear, then apparently you're just paying lip service and you're not serious about being anti-genocide. Ethan Klein isn't anti-genocide enough. Like, these people's brains are rotted. Totally rotted. I don't like you, so leave my safe space pretty much sums up the internet. Yeah. He voted against Netanyahu more often than he smoked crack. Thank you for the reminder of that, Alex. Fucking crazy, man. So yeah, this guy is gross. Taylor loves him in a platonic way. Okay, so then we have Ethan responding to everything. And it sounds like we might have Hila responding as well. Let me go find her stuff. Hila Klein, boss bitch. Oh, that's awesome. Okay, we'll get to that. Okay, so here is Ethan, doing his Instagram stories thing. Taylor is immediately responded to with leftist anti-Semitism. Here we go. Oh, here it is. This is the tweet I was looking for. By definition, the left is not capable of anti-Semitism. This is the thing I was looking for. Oh my God. Thank you, Ethan. To the extent they criticize Jews, well, it's because the Jews are the global elites and kingmakers of Western government. That's literally anti-Semitic. Their elimination needs to come on that basis, not simply because of their Jewishness. So what makes them the global elites and kingmakers? If it's not their Jewishness, but all of the Jews are global elites. Like, what are you talking about? Are you fucking... Oh my God. The internet was a bad idea. Okay, so that happened. So this is what he says. Part of what is so insidious about leftist anti-Semitism is how they justify it as morally correct. Thank you. And that's what I was saying. Like, if you don't unpack your own stuff, your own biases, then you're going to assume that everything that comes out of your mouth is righteous and moral and ethical. Even those like knee-jerk reactions, those instinctual reactions that are rooted in implicit bias that we all have. They justify it as morally correct, and then bad actors like Taylor willfully lie to run cover for them. Yeah, like, why did you need to show up and cape for the ginger anti-Semitic communist? Why did you need to do that? Like, girl, I don't think the independent journalism is giving you enough to do. I think you might need like a second job or something, because this is crazy. Taylor is sweating, more Ethan. Taylor is sweating because she knows this is exactly about people like her. Right. It's very much a hit dog will holler. Like I said, like no one was even talking about leftists. And then she shows up and barks, essentially. Right. Taylor is a racist scumbag who runs defense for other racist scumbags. Well, now this one to me is very interesting because someone pointed it out on Reddit that this message from Ethan could potentially, of course I'm going to make this about myself, could potentially mean that he has seen at least one of my recent streams or the clips from it. So we'll get to that. Is that really okay, so blah, blah, blah. We know this. No one mentioned Hassan here. Girl, shut up. Is that really the extent of your logic? Ethan used this screenshot, so rethink your position. What a shallow, helpless, unintellectual loser. Yours is the beautiful mind that conceived of, Ethan criticized me, therefore he's a misogynist. Nah, you're just an idiot. Here's a video from 12 years ago that proves Ethan is a misogynist. You call yourself a journalist, but truthfully, you are nothing more than an internet mean girl. Mean girl, while defending the old enough to count, old enough to mount, bro tips era Hassan Piker. And someone on Reddit was like, I think he's watching your videos because he called Taylor a mean girl journalist and mentioned the bro tips thing. And listen, I'm not gonna deny that maybe that would be cool. So yeah, mean girl journalism. This is from June 24th. Yeah, this is the one where I talk about it. And then I also brought up like the bro tips thing. So there's that, or no, the bro tips might have been this one. I think bro tips was the new one. So yeah, I just thought that was kind of interesting. I don't know if it's true, but I would love for him to know that people are fucking supporting him out here. You know what I mean? Anyway, so there's that. Okay, and this is, so she retweeted Ethan's attic, which was formerly Ethan's basement. Fallen fan who has lied about being on the payroll to have some sort of like cachet. And like I said at the beginning of this stream, more and more I am thinking that when Taylor said, I'm actually speaking to people involved, it could have been this fucking person. Because here she is retweeting him or her or them. Does that give it, is that enough to go on? Probably not, but I just have to wonder. So here she is retweeting this fucking idiot. Taylor interacting with a dedicated snarker hate Twitter account, Ethan's attic, is peak unawareness. Aren't you supposed to be an anti-snark hero? Girl, you can't even lie good. Yeah, for sure. She's only against snark when it's not about Ethan Klein. When it's about Ethan and Hila Klein, the ends justify the means. Anything goes. Nothing is off limits. And the ends, according to a lot of snarkers, is to get him to kill himself. Or, I mean, less crazy people probably just want to run him off the internet, harass him until he says he wants, Israel to disappear. Like, I don't know what the ends are. I think a lot of it is just them taking out their anger and despair about what's happening in Gaza, just taking it out on someone who they've decided is like the whipping boy for it, because they feel helpless, like we all fucking do. This is like their way of coping, and it's really destructive and horrible. Okay, LOL, I'm racist now. It's interesting to see Ethan continue to directly smear me to millions of followers while simultaneously threatening to sue me for defamation. How is he smearing you? He's telling the truth about what you're doing. Calling you like a loser is not him like defaming you. A mean girl, that's not defamation. Unintellectual, these are all opinions. So that really is not the same as defamation. That's not the same as you saying that he's a genocide defender. That's a horrible fucking thing to say. And y'all have just like lost the gravity of words. Everyone's a pedophile. Everyone's a genocide defender. Everyone's a misogynist. Everyone's a racist. Like, we have to have some kind of scale, some kind of spectrum, and maybe like work on our word choice. I mean, your job is words. So to see you trafficking in like this very black and white language, it feels so immature. It feels really immature, and like Ethan said, kind of anti-intellectual of you. And also very Russian propaganda. And culty. Very Scientologist. They watch more anti-Ethan content in a day than all the H3 fan channels make in a week. 100,000%. They also probably watch H3 more than we do. Make it make sense, America. Of course, he intentionally cropped out my reply in the context of this combo. Your reply did not make this any better, girly pop. And there's Ethan's attic again. Retweeting him again. Retweeting him again. Oh no, that's the same one. Okay, cool. Trash. Hey, Taylor, I'll post something for posterity too. Can I get your thoughts on this compilation? Of course, she will not touch that. If she responds to that, I would be interested to see that. Obviously, this is Hassan doing bro tips. This man has just never had a sense of fashion. Like, even in the early, 2010s, this was not a cute look. The weirdest shaped V-neck I've ever seen. If Ethan sued everyone who was pro-Palestine on Twitch, he'd have more than three lawsuits. That's the thing. Like, when they say, like, oh, he's going after every pro-Palestine content creator, he's suing 3 people, and he's criticizing Hassan. That's not all the pro-Palestine creators. Like, when you think that the only places you can get progressive information on the genocide is Hassan Piker and his orbit, you are brainwashed. You can get the information elsewhere from other people who are less insane and less abusive. Like, the dude is so mean to his audience. I don't understand how people watch him. I really, really don't. But, like, seriously, to say that is so insulting to, like, all of the other pro-Palestine creators who Ethan does not talk about at all. And 2 pro-Palestine creators work for him. Like, AB and Lena have raised all kinds of money for Palestine. And they talk about that shit all the time on their streams. So, like, maybe Ethan isn't perfect in your eyes, but he's not, it makes no sense that he is public enemy number 1, except that he had the chutzpah, Yiddish, to stand up to Hassan Piker and criticize him. That's what seems to set him apart from all of the right-wing people who are really loving Trump's approach to Gaza, which is to just let Israel do whatever they want. Why are you spending so much time talking about Ethan when that's happening? Absolutely insane. Oh, I had something to say about this, and I don't remember what it was. Oh, I remember now. Okay. So yeah, this photo's weird. That's not what I wanted to say. But it reminds me of, are there any 30 Rock fans in the house tonight? Anyone here from out of town? No, anyone here like 30 Rock? Because there is a moment where Liz Lemon, who is the writer on the show, like the fake SNL that they're doing, she gets to be on the cover of a magazine. And for the first time, because usually the writers don't get that. It's the actors, it's the comedians, right? And so she gets really excited about it. And Jenna, her actor best friend, is like, don't let them take any stupid pictures of you, because that's the one they're going to use. But she gets so into it, and she's getting so much, like, positive feedback during the photo shoot that she picks up a rubber chicken and, like, does all kinds of crazy shit with a rubber chicken. And so she ends up, obviously they end up using those because she looks fucking stupid. This keyboard is Taylor Lorenz's rubber chicken. Don't pick up the props. Whatever you do, don't pick up the props, because what even is happening here? Keyboard on head was an old 4chan response to people who claimed to be who they say they were on 4chan, and this looks so dumb in 2025. Keyboard on 4chan jokes? I have no fucking idea. So yeah, that made me think of Liz Lemon with the rubber chicken when I saw that. So there's that. Okay, here's her following Rathbone. I did put that in here. And here we come to the latest. So things spiraled, of course, as they always do, because Taylor cannot leave Bait alone. She gives big youngest sibling energy. So my brother and sister and I are very close in age. And when my brother, who's in the middle child, would pick on my sister, she was incapable of ignoring him. Like, I was able to shut him out, ice him out, to the point where he would just get bored bothering me, right? My sister took every single piece of the bait. And that's what I feel like I feel like Taylor is to me, is like a little sister. Just cannot not respond. And I will say, I used to be that way. I used to be that way, Taylor. And then my therapist told me it's anxiety. It's anxiety. You don't need to do this all the time to everybody. You don't need to respond to every single thing that you perceive to be about you, even though it's not. Like ContraPoints doing this. It's anxiety. You're not going to save the world on Twitter. And you're probably just exhausting yourself. Okay, enough of the come to Jesus moment that she will never care about. Now she's saying that Ethan is being misogynistic because he is turned on by his wife? I don't understand. 3 kids, by the way. He's proud of her. He loves her. He thinks she's still a smoke show, even though they've been through the ringer with 3 fucking kids. And yes, it's a Teddy Fresh post. Like, so Taylor says, first of all, she's retweeting someone, right? This is such a weird thing to say in the context it was posted. What was the context? The context it was posted is he's on vacation with his wife. Just because he's making stories about other shit doesn't mean he's not enjoying his time with his wife, who he is still clearly very much in love with. He thinks she's hot. I hope my wife thinks I'm hot forever too. Is that misogynist of her? Or is that internalized misogyny for me? That I want my wife to be fucking attracted to me? What are we doing? The gatekeeping is just bananas. Right after making fun of Taylor Lorenz's looks? When did he make fun of her looks? Because he posted this? This is making fun of her looks? He hasn't said anything else about her looks. He called her a racist scumbag. But nowhere has he called her ugly or whatever else. He just posted this very public image of her because it is a very silly picture. Where is he talking about her looks? Genuinely. Also, hang on. Do you guys see this like silver streak? I'm obsessed with it. Look at it. Look how cool. I've always wanted a streak like fucking Bonnie Raitt, and it's happening. Okay, anyway. I love that during this stream, you just get to watch my hair dry. So yeah, I don't understand. I don't understand that at all. Giving Michelle Visage, yes. Yes, my witch is coming in, yeah. I call it my tinsel. Okay, so yeah, I don't understand that. And of course, Taylor picks up the bait. I wonder if she has, well, she probably follows this guy because he constantly tweets anti-Ethan stuff. But like, does her phone buzz? Does she have a notification every time someone mentions her online? Probably not, because she's never responded to any of my stuff showing our DMs. Okay, right after making fun of Taylor's looks, which he didn't do that. And what if she didn't look like that after 3 kids? What then? Like, what the fuck is this? Yeah, I think he would post her and be like, she's fucking ugly now. Like, what are we doing? Like, the world building is on a level that genuinely I think should be studied by psychologists. So Taylor says he simply cannot quit the misogyny. This is a misogynistic post. Because he said 3 kids, by the way, on a post his wife posted for her business. CEO, Hila Klein. Yeah, he's such a misogynist. He's married to a fucking businesswoman who he also thinks is hot. Thinking your wife is hot is not fucking misogynist. You're attracted to them. Are these people just, are they all like asexual? Not that there's anything wrong with that, but like, do they really genuinely think that this is like offensive? To like be horny for your partner who is a woman? Maybe that's a piece of it. I don't know, but like, it's also just like bad faith. Like, I don't think she truly believes it's misogyny. It's just like something new that she can say about Ethan that makes her feel better for a second. They're all violently single. Violently single is so funny. If Ethan's a misogynist, then no other man has any hope whatsoever. Yeah. Listen, this is another new overlay I made. It's not working. Hang on. I gotta make sure I program these. No, it's not working. God fucking damn it. Hang on. You guys are really just seeing all the back end stuff now. Okay. So here's the thing. Yeah, bros, is it misogynist to love your wife? I genuinely believe that every man is a misogynist to some degree. I think a lot of women also have internalized misogyny. So I'm not here to say that Ethan isn't or hasn't been misogynistic, a misogynist in the past and currently, right? Because I'm not a fucking idiot. I guarantee Taylor Lorenz will be like, Hassan is not a misogynist. That to me is unserious because all men are socialized to be misogynist. And it takes a lot of work to unpack and dismantle that. And even when you do, there's still some residual shit, right? But to base Ethan's misogyny on him suing women and then being attracted to his wife is so fucking weak. And again, does that make him public enemy number one? There is a lot worse misogyny happening on the internet. As Casey Tron well knows. I mean, she was harassed horribly during Gamergate. And then Anissa as well. Like, these people understand what real misogyny looks like. But there is, and of course there is a spectrum of it. And my question is, why are we spending so much time calling Ethan Klein a misogynist and trying to like ruin his reputation for it? When, yes, he's made stupid sexist content in the past, like literally every other male streamer and a lot of female streamers. But since then, he has defended women. He has spoken up for rape victims, let them speak on their own behalf. Like, they're never gonna change. These people are not redeemable in that way. But just for us to know, like, you're not crazy. Ethan is not this like malignant misogynist that they're making him out to be. But of course, he's probably just a normal low-level misogynist like most men, especially like millennial and older. But honestly, the way some of these fucking Gen Z turds are talking on Twitter, I feel like we're just having like a rebirth, a renaissance, if it will. It's that black and white concrete, this or that thinking that proves how fundamentally broken they are. Yes, people who are drawn to that kind of ideology are not well. Because that kind of ideology makes them feel like they are in control of something, that they are fixing something, that they are impacting something. It makes them feel powerful to have the right answer to things. Think about religion. Think about MAGA and QAnon. And now, yeah, think about these leftists. And I say all this as a progressive. Someone who does consider themselves a leftist, but I would never associate with these people. I genuinely agree with them on so many things, but the way they move is foul, and I refuse to let them be the ones who decide who's a leftist and who's not. They don't get that. They don't get that privilege. No one granted them that privilege. They just fucking decided. And so when snarkers tell me that I'm disgusting or I'm whatever the latest smear is for people who disagree with them a little bit, I don't give a fuck because they are not the arbiters of leftism. Right, Hassan is the movement. Like, get fucked. What are literally any of you doing, including Hassan, offline to improve your communities? Oh, yeah. I am your favorite right-wing channel. Thank you so much. Yeah, like during this whole thing, yeah, I've been called a right-wing shill. I've been called an Israeli operative, like that Israel's paying me. Not here, but on Instagram. Whenever I speak up for things, I'm either being paid by Israel or I hate all Jews. If you genuinely believe that, like that thinking is going to fix a complex geopolitical issue, which is not the genocide. The genocide is very clearly disgusting and horrible, needs to stop. But the geopolitical issue is the fact that two people believe they have claim to the same land. I'm not saying I agree necessarily, but that is a fact that is the issue. And if you think that calling everyone a misogynist who disagrees with you or calling everyone a pedophile who disagrees with you, if you think that is going to help anything happening thousands of miles away, I'm sorry you feel desperate. And I'm sorry that you're angry and sad. We all are. But abusing me, abusing other leftists and other progressives, and yes, liberals too. What are you solving? What are you fixing? What are you improving? Literally nothing. Literally nothing, babes. Are we allowed to make fun of Bad Empanada's looks? I'll take my answer off the air. You are allowed to do whatever you want. I don't even know why BE is being brought up here. And I don't know who Boss Moss is. I see you guys talking about him. Are they being nice? Please look up Giardia. Oh God, they're talking about Giardia? God. They clearly didn't get the new like messaging update chip implanted in their brain. Okay, so yeah, that's fucking stupid. The misogyny thing. All right, let's see what Hila has to say about this. This is the one. All right, so here she is. She posted this on Teddy Fresh. Look at her being beautiful. We love our queen. Love this bikini. 3 kids, by the way. I can't wait for the show to come back. I hope they've had a wonderful time. Okay, here we go. Dear, here is Hila. Motherfucker. I feel like Ethan right now. Okay, no one touch anything. Here is Hila's response to Taylor. Dear Taylor, I guess I need to pause it, right? Fucking boomer activities. Okay, there we go. Don't move. Okay. I like it. Dear Taylor Lorenz, I like it when my husband compliments me. He's actually helped boost my confidence ever since I met him, and I've always loved that about him. But today I learned that's misogyny. Taylor, woo! You are just a lonely ass bitch with nothing better to do than chat up children on Roblox at 3 a.m. Get a life with this two little dildos. Signed, the happy wife of Ethan Klein. Fuck yeah. Got her. And here's the thing. Like, this isn't like a, I don't think this is a sexist thing, right? That she had 3 kids and she looks like this. Why? Because we also know, if anyone actually watches the show, and we know they do, that Hila has really focused on getting stronger because she had back pain. And being pregnant does not help your back pain. So she has put a lot of work into herself physically. That is important to her. It's not important to everyone, right? It's not something that everyone cares to be complimented on or have focused on. But Hila specifically is very proud of herself for the transformation she has accomplished by getting stronger. And the fact that Ethan has helped her with her confidence, I mean, you can see it. You can see it on the old videos. I was watching one of the old ones yesterday, and she's so quiet and she's so shy and sort of, I mean, she still has like a vibe on camera, but she's got, she's kind of like insecure on camera. But you can see how she loosens up when Ethan makes her laugh. And like, this isn't the first time that these people have been so weird about like normal human interactions. It's just, to me, it's just showing how hateful they are. And yeah, kind of, they seem lonely. Even if it's not romantically, like, get some friends or something. Because Taylor, like, I used to think deep down Taylor knew how dumb all this sounds. I thought she was just doing it in bad faith and was just using any excuse to talk shit on Ethan and Hila in a very snarky manner, to the point that I would not be surprised if she was a hardcore snarker with tons of comments on snark. Because look at the way she responds to people on Twitter. But now I don't know. Wait. Look at this guy. Now I don't know. Part of me feels like she believes it. That she really believes that it is her mission in life to just be horrible online. Like, I don't know. Like, and then she believes all this about Ethan being this terrible person that needs to be run off the internet. Doesn't make any fucking sense to me. At all. So yeah. Is that the rest of the feud? Let me just see if there's anything else. Oh, yes. Okay. We have 2 Taylor self-owns to close out this episode, this stream. Thank you.
The positive reinforcement they get from snarkers is like a drug to them.
Yeah.
That's why EB only posts about Ethan ever.
Yeah. I mean, and I will say, like, I have been doing online content for a long time, and it is hard to resist the really deep, hateful shit, because outrage content does so well. Like, it is more lucrative than probably anything else. Like, when I started on TikTok and Instagram for like my silly Trump videos, most of the other creators who started out doing that transitioned into like doing exposés and like calling out other creators, specifically other like progressive or liberal creators. And they would get in these like huge live groups and, you know, smear each other and throw mud. And it was just really, really ugly, but they got tons. They got tons and tons of engagement. And my stuff kind of plateaued. And I was like, I'm fine with that. I don't want to just repurpose other people's content because that's another thing that gets a lot of views. And I don't want to just make people angry. Because why would I do that? But it is a drug. It is something that you kind of, if you're susceptible to it, if you really want people to like you and you want that constant reinforcement that you're like a good and worthy person who's making a difference, just start hating someone, you know? Okay. Let's end with a little silly, which is Taylor self-owning herself twice. First, we have her defending Bob Villain, who said some stuff, and getting caught out by Lonerbox, who I love. I love a Lonerbox moment. So here we go.
They weren't talking about an entity. They were talking about the soldiers. They wanted death to the IDF soldiers.
No, they didn't say death to the IDF soldiers. They said death to the IDF. Again, the IDF is a military entity. If people would like
wait for it.
People would like the public to change their sentiments around the IDF, they should advocate
what
for
do you think the IDF is?
It's a military organization. Again, if people want that, people are very angry at right now because this military organization is currently.
Yeah, again, so like.
Here we go.
Saying that he's talking about the IDF as an institution, not killing the people. And then obviously this is the guy, Bob Villain, from 1 month ago.
Death to every single IDF soldier out there.
Death to every single IDF soldier out there.
As an agent of terror for Israel. Death to the IDF.
Then he said death to the IDF. So he covered his bases. He said both.
So I feel like it's quite clear what he means. I don't know why you... it's Bob Villain from 1 month ago.
Every single death to every single IDF soldier out there.
Not just active duty. Death to every single IDF soldier out there. Like, how are you going to go on live TV and not even know what you're talking about? Like, in my opinion, it feels like she didn't even watch the clip. How are you going to defend him when you haven't even gotten like the full information? This is why I'm like, how are you a journalist? There's like this lack of curiosity and a lack of like the instinct to vet things. It's concerning. It's concerning. Okay, so that's one. And then the other one was... What's the other own that we had? We did that. We did that. We did that. That's nothing. We did that. We did that. Oh, it's here. Okay. So, here she is sharing false information just because it confirms her own biases and follows her own narrative about what's happening, which is apparently that Democrats are just as bad as Republicans, and Kamala Harris would have been just as bad as Donald Trump. So if you don't know, yesterday or the day before, the big, beautiful bill passed in the Senate, and it's going to kick like over, I think like 14 million people off of health insurance. And there are these huge, huge cuts to SNAP, which feeds low-income families, mostly children. And so this is what Taylor decides to retweet. This is what I'm talking about when like they're focused on the wrong shit. They're not focused on the actual evil. They're focused on like the people on their side to the point that they're not even checking their facts. That they're just cool to lie on people to like distance themselves from establishment Democrats, even if it's a lie. So this tweet says, Biden kicked 23 people off Medicaid, SNAP, and housing protections in the middle of a pandemic. Democrats are not going to stop Republicans from doing the same. I was like, whoa, is that true? That's fucked up. Why would he do that? This person, exactly. Great commentary. Taylor Lorenz reposted it. But then I looked in the comments, and one great thing about Twitter right now is Grok, which is the AI assistant that you can ask to verify things. I really like that. So they said, Grok, is this true? The claim that Biden removed 23 million people from Medicaid, SNAP, and housing protections during the pandemic is misleading. Is a fucking lie. Medicaid disenrollments over 23 million by July 2024, followed the end of a congressional mandate for continuous enrollment, not a direct Biden policy. So the people that were disenrolled, it was because it was the end of a mandate. It was not something that Biden fucking did. The administration increased SNAP benefits in 2021, so you fucking lied, and has bolstered housing protections in 2025. Bolstered, I guess, because of laws that went into effect when he was still president. Critics argue Biden could have done more. Sure, absolutely. But the claim's framing, especially the pandemic timing, is inaccurate. Every Taylor Lorenz tweet, every Cat 10 Barge article just confirms for me why they are independent journalists. It almost feels like they can't get hired because they lie on the internet and they don't check their sources. And they mire themselves in bullshit internet feuds and spread misinformation about people. I don't know. Maybe that's just me. Just saying. Oh, all right. So that's it. That's Taylor. Got a lot on her tonight. Shout out to Hila for serving it up in every conceivable way. Like I said, Friday, I will potentially be back with some big news, some juicy gossip. If you weren't here at the beginning or you haven't seen my post on YouTube, I was handed a dossier in my DMs. An archive, if you will, of a certain person's misogynistic tweets. Allegedly. So I need to go through it and see if there's anything worth talking about. And yeah, I could probably do it on Friday. So that is what we are going to potentially dig into. Then independent equals unemployed. Listen, I've been laid off and it's terrible. But I don't think potentially defaming people and also like just sharing misinformation is like a good way to get to like really like increase your cred as a journalist. Yeah, go check out Alex the Fiction. I think I have his channel linked in my chat. I mean in my description. I only want snarkers. Snarkers only for Alex. Yeah, check out Alex, a fabulous member of the H3 Galaxy, I guess we're calling it. All right, so yeah, I will most likely see y'all on Friday. Of course, things are going to happen between now and then that we can talk about in addition to whatever I find interesting in this little dossier. My fans are too nice. Thanks for making me proud, y'all. Thanks for making me proud. Everyone go over there and follow Alex. And yeah, I'll see you Friday. And on Friday, we will be 3 days from the show coming back. Very, very excited. And yeah, I will see y'all on the other side. Bye.